G'day, parceiros. Welcome to the digital unknown. I know this is new. I know this is different, but change is inevitable. That's where the opportunity is. I'm going to be sharing in this video a few words, a bit of vocabulary that I think is essential to understand and perceive what is happening in this digital environment that is literally made of zeros and ones. It's our imagination and our understanding which is going to allow us to see the opportunities in this environment. I've been traveling around on a motorbike the last 5 years in Colombia with a drone showing you guys real estate investments that generate 8 to 12% net ROI. Meanwhile, my crypto portfolio did 1,000%. I'm going to be showing you the techniques that I've been using. I'm going to be taking you on adventures into this digital space so you too can profit and participate in the unfolding of our digital civilization. So let's dive right in there and let's start with TX Street. This is a graphic visualization of the Ethereum and the Bitcoin network. The Ethereum on the left, the Bitcoin on the right. Each one of those people are transactions that this network is processing. Over here on the left, in the blue spot here, that's OpenSea. Those are people buying NFTs. We've got MetaMask. That's a type of digital wallet that people are using. The infrastructure of the future of our digitalized civilization is being built with this technology, and this is what it looks like. Each one of these buses are blocks that are being added into chains. There is over $2 trillion in this space right now that is very accessible, a lot easier to get in than you'd think. It's as easy as signing up for a Coinbase or a Binance account. This is still very, very early. You haven't missed out on anything, but the sooner you get in, the better. The sooner you understand what's happening, you'll be able to make a more educated kind of investment. But unless you know computer science, unless you know game theory, unless you know tokenomics, unless you know a range of fields, you're going to have to get comfortable with not knowing. You're going to have to be comfortable in the unknown. But you can connect to people who do know. That's also something that I'm going to be sharing as we go along here. Let's go to the first word that we need to understand, which is Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is the most popular cryptocurrency. It's a blockchain. It is a series of zeros and ones that is organized into blocks. Each of those blocks are mined by different computer processes out there, and that chain of numbers, that list, that distributed ledger is transparent, it's decentralized, accessible from all over the world. It's immutable, so it's verified by all of these different nodes, which means that you can't go back and corrupt it. So it has become a very transparent and precise way to record reality. To understand it a bit more, we need to understand the word blockchain. This is the type of technology that Bitcoin is. It is a distributed ledger technology. This is basically an Excel sheet, a list of information, a special database that stores information in blocks that are then chained or linked together. When that happens, it's verified and the transaction is recorded. But here's the thing, and this is what I think a lot of people who haven't entered the space yet but know about crypto and Bitcoin get tripped up on, and that is that Bitcoin is not the only blockchain. There are various blockchains. They're all considered or they're referred to as cryptocurrency or digital assets. I'll be referring to them as digital assets. Bitcoin is a blockchain, which is its own list, its own ledger, but there are also tokens, which are built on top of ledgers. So, on the left here, we have Dogecoin and Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash. They all use the Bitcoin ledger. Some coins like Monero, Ethereum are referred to as both a coin and a blockchain. And then there are tokens. Tokens are a little bit easier to code. The tokens will have different types of game theory and tokenomics, which is basically the economy of the tokens and how they're unfolded based on their utility. Some of them are for security, some of them are for governance, and some of them are NFTs. If you can understand the gist of what the Bitcoin is as a chain, as a distributed ledger, which is called the blockchain, which is in the crypto universe, a universe of digital assets and cryptocurrencies that are being used in an infinitely unfolding amount of ways, including as currency. And that is where we're seeing a lot of US dollars flood into this market, because we've seen governments around the world overprint their currencies. And they can do that because they have fiat currencies. Those are paper currencies that are only valuable because they are regulated by a government as valuable. So it has no intrinsic worth. It's usually printed on a very flimsy piece of paper. Commodity money is when it's based on the gold. It might be called the gold standard. Since 1971, the U.S. has gone off the gold standard, and the U.S. dollar has been fiat. Considering the average lifespan of fiat currencies around the world, before something happens or before there's some type of hyperinflational event, is about 40 years, it might be a great time to pay attention to alternative currencies. I think what we're seeing in this space is a search for sound money, something that I think we should consider as a base tenet of this crypto universe, is that whatever we believe together has value. So if we believe that a JPEG of a dog has millions of dollars of value, then that's what is valuable. Whatever we believe together has value. And that brings us to DeFi. DeFi is decentralized finance. Now, we have a global financial system which is very opaque, very difficult to understand, but it is built with a very wide range amount of financial instruments, from straightforward checking and savings accounts to investment brokerages, trading. We've got derivatives and mortgages, and a centralized financial system that is recorded and accounted for in ledgers that we've never seen. DeFi is recreating that financial system. It is innovating. It is providing access to all types of financial tools that we haven't had access to before. And this space is mind-blowing in terms of the amount of value, the amount of middlemen that are being removed from a centralized financial system. The amount of potential here is incredible. Right now, you can not only have a bank in your pocket, but you can have the value of an entire financial system in your pocket. And I think we haven't truly grasped what that means. Now, this space is highly regulated, and it will be a slower change. Inside games are a perfect sandbox to simulate a lot of these financial instruments that DeFi is developing. And there's a very big ecosystem in that. We can take a look, just one example from wealth and asset management here, prediction markets, asset tokenization. So that's, looking at real estate. Then we've got the marketplaces, payments, lending, insurance, infrastructure, stablecoins. Stablecoins are basically cryptocurrencies that are pegged one-to-one to some of the national currencies that we have, and that's providing quite a way to bridge some of these the DeFi with the CeFi, the centralized financial system. So let's go to Web 3.0. Web 3.0 is the name given to the next generation of the internet. We're currently in Web 2.0. Web 3.0 is going to become much more personalized, and instead of just reading and writing and searching, we're going to see AI become a major part of Web 3.0. Understanding with the semantic web, understanding context, understanding what you're actually looking for, and the way that you can access that information from any device is going to change dramatically. It's not just accessing the cloud anymore. It's accessing a decentralized computer that is built from various processors across the world. Now, NFTs are a super important piece to understand. NFTs are not just... Now, NFTs are really important to understand. NFTs are non-fungible tokens. Now, we remember what tokens are, right? Tokens are cryptos that are built on top of a particular blockchain. Well, an NFT is basically a way to create scarcity in the digital. In the digital, you can copy and paste anything infinitely. But when you can mint something, and mint is the verb of an NFT, you mint an NFT, you basically declare it as scarce. You declare it as one. You declare it as non-fungible. And that is embedded into that blockchain, and therefore its uniqueness is represented. And this revolutionizes, or maybe even returns to the original way that an artist would create, and that is with a one singular piece of art. And this piece right here sold for $69 million because it is a one of a kind. There's various different ways to do this. It can be with JPEGs. It can be with GIFs. So animated GIFs. Could be a tweet. It could be a well-presented, dunk. It could be CryptoKitties series collections of avatars, which are very popular right now. CryptoPunks, Visa just bought a CryptoPunk for its significance. Multiplayer role-playing metaverses that are built on the blockchain. When you own a character and that character has items in their backpack in the game, or maybe they have a piece of land in that game, an NFT is now permitting and enabling players to be able to purchase and resell those things. Crypto voxels, a mashup of social network, gaming, and commerce. Unstoppable domains. You can buy a domain which is then embedded into the blockchain. Real estate tokenization, that's something I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to on the channel, how this integrates with crowdfunding, how you can actually fractionalize a piece of real estate and become an owner with an NFT that you can trade online. Not only trade, use as collateral for further investments. Game changer. Licenses and certifications. You won't need to call your university back home to send you a sealed envelope with your university degree. It'll be recorded on an NFT, which would be verifiable instantly. So another thing to look at in terms of NFTs, like this is, the gaming industry is huge, and this is an example of one game. We can even go into the crypto coin market cap, which is an essential part of this space. And you can look at various kind of NFT plays. You can also look at which of those NFTs are becoming part of the play to earn kind of system. When I was a teenager in high school and playing video games, There was a big group of us at school that got obsessed with these online games that allowed us to kind of build out our characters and play in a multiplayer online environment. Huge amounts of time invested, and what is that? That's value. We believe so much in that game, and we derive so much fun with it. P2E, play to earn, is a revolution in the gaming industry. It is a category of games that are using NFTs as characters, as skins, as costumes, as weapons, as pieces of land in those digital metaverses that are being created. Play to earn is a big one, and this horse right here, I believe, is on sale right now for $100,000. Now, why would it be worth $96,409? Well, you can take a look at his properties, and it's a Nakamoto, and there's how many of these? I think there's 80,000 of these horses, and only 12% of them are a Nakamoto. The Z1, so it was one of the first breeds. You can actually breed these horses in a game which is called Z-Run. This is an NFT game which allows you to race your digital asset, right? By connecting your MetaMask, which is your digital wallet, which contains your NFT, because your NFT sits on the Ethereum blockchain. This one is actually on the Polygon network, and you access that with your MetaMask wallet as well. And you can begin to enter your horse into races, and you can also put your horse out to breed. And the better characteristics that your horse has, the more chances it'll have of winning races. And there's all kinds of things happening in that space. So another massive rabbit hole to be diving into. But let's move on to DAO. Now, DAO means a decentralized autonomous organization. This is a community which interacts around hard-coded rules encoded in the blockchain. So this is the future of corporations that we're seeing here. This is the future of community management. This is an attempt, instead of traditional top-down businesses, DAOs reward participation from all members in a proportion decided by the DAO's founding code. That code can be consulted at all times by anyone on the blockchain. I think this is going to integrate into government quite a bit. Fascinating stuff. Which brings us to the final term for this video. We've been through a lot. I think we've covered quite a bit of ground in terms of starting to understand the pieces of the puzzle that are building this digital civilization. And the final one is a key one, because every time there's a new token that is released, or a new chain, game theory is a mental model. A game theory is an understanding that competition exists and that there are various participants with various different types of objectives. And game theory is working out strategies that maximize gains or minimize losses in competitive situations, having defined constraints and involving random factors. So that is the implementation of a lot of these cryptos. Requires using game theory to figuring out how a certain type of token is going to play out. Let's take a look at an example here, which is D-Travel. Now, this is a crypto equivalent of Airbnb that is implementing some of these terms that we've been learning in this video. And I think D-Travel is a great example to implement some of what we're doing here. So D-Travel is community-owned home sharing, 50% lower fees than other home sharing sites, governed by hosts and guests. Now, how do you think that it's governed? Well, we can go check out their white paper, and we can look at the travel token. And we know that a token is based on a blockchain. Each crypto token and each crypto coin will usually have a white paper which explains what's going on in terms of how that token will have utility in various different ways. D-Travel will be using their own token, which is called TRVL. And these, it'll be used by guests to make payments and for hosts to receive payments. They'll be used to buy loyalty memberships represented as NFTs. Travel will be used by hosts to pay for value-added services. Travel will be paid as rewards for successful hosts and guest referrals. So they've created essentially their own currency to use in their own company, and that currency can be staked, which means that it will be placed and not used. Hosts and guests must stake Travel to participate in D-Travel DAO voting, proposal submissions, and other D-Travel DAO initiatives. Now, what that means is that you're staking it and you're putting it aside out of circulation in order to get DAO voting rights. So that means that you'll have a say in how the decentralized autonomous organization proposals and policies are going to be implemented. Now, Airbnb recently went through a bit of a drama because they weren't a lot of the hosts weren't happy with how they were being treated during the COVID shutdown process. Now, D-Travel is stepping up and allowing hosts who stake their TRVL token to have a say, to have governance in the operation. I hope you're starting to see like how much this space is a game changer. And I think without having gone through some of the words that we went through in this video, we wouldn't truly understand the potential of a site like this. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to leave it at that. Let's jump back. Let's exit. Let's unplug for today. I think the deeper we plug into this environment, the more we need to unplug. I think wherever we are, the more presence we have, the more we can focus our attention. And our attention in this digital environment is being monetized. If we don't have an intention, we're going to have a bunch of intentions landing upon us and taking us in all different kinds of directions, because the most precious thing we have is time. And the most precious way to use your time is to focus your attention on something great, because you are full of potential that you may not even realize because you've considered that this digital space is too complicated or too complex. You don't know where to start. Hopefully this video has provided you with a basic understanding of some of these big terms, so you can start seeing worlds of opportunity form in this crypto programmed digital universe. Does it make sense? Are you with me? I know we're going into new topics, into new places. Don't worry, we're still going to be traveling around Colombia. We're still going to be looking at cash flowing real estate. Make sure to jump on my newsletter, sammiller.life. Until the next video, I invite you to embrace your fears. Embrace them, integrate them. That can be a very powerful fuel. Choose a greater fear that will propel you towards your dreams. And I invite you to embrace the unknown, because this is the greatest opportunity that the world has ever seen to create the future now. I'll see you in the next video.